Generic greetings and welcome back to Airships Conquer the Skies. Today's beverage is a nice cold glass of pineapple juice. So I have a plan, and normally those words will instill despair and trepidation onto all. However, I guess only time will tell whether or not this thing is going to be fruitful or not. So we're going to go over to design and fight and also the LAN chip editor. And what I want to do is make something that can relatively well take out a building at the same cost. If we go over to building editor actually and open the design, you can see we've got several different types of buildings. However, one of the most efficient one is not a GDS turret. It is the White Lookout. Essentially, it's one of the pre-made ones in the game. It has several cannons pointing forward, several rifles. It has the same pointing backwards, but about half the armament, maybe a bit less of that. And we've also got two flak towers pointing up, so it's very hard to assault in general from any which way. In the previous video, we did make, if we go to LAN chip editor and open the design, we did make the, where is it, not the Medusa, the encroaching, no, where is it? Where is it? The Atlanta. There it is. So we made a boarding vehicle, basically. So we charge up to it, and then we'll be able to board it. Well, go to it, ram, and then board. And we managed to slice the top off one of the buildings as well, which is quite interesting. However, I think what we're going to do is trying to make something that can, I wouldn't necessarily say bombard, but certainly take out the opponent from range. But this time, what we need to do is mitigate that damage. And the way we're going to do that, we're going to do it with a sort of a two-pronged attack. The first thing will be armor. We're going to heavily arm this thing as much as we can. I'm looking to make this thing around about the 1,500 mark. Anything over that, and we're just going to get, well, we're just going to be well away from what we need. So we're probably going to use aerial torpedoes for this, even though they are quite expensive. We're going to probably place a couple of them in here. Probably 3 would be sufficient. But we're going to heavily arm the majority of the frame, but then what we're going to do, and this is where it's a sort of abuse of I think it's a abuse of unintended game mechanics, is we're going to make it very large. We're going to fill it with all different manner of stuff, so the chances are that these are not going to get hit, because I could be wrong about this, but I think the way it works is they target the vehicle and then it just gets randomly sort of hit and misses around that. So if we just have a small bit like this, then, you know, the chances are it's going to like sort of hit a vital part. Where if we make it really big and just use extraneous components, just things like corridors, loads of them, the chances are it's going to hit those. Whether or not that's how it works, and if indeed it will work, well, we'll see how that one goes. So we're going to use some probably tracks, although I think I'm probably going to have to go for quite large tracks, but we'll see. Let's go over to Propulsion and down to probably large tracks, although they are quite expensive, aren't they? Probably not then. We'll probably use them like, maybe like that? No, what about medium tracks? We don't have medium tracks. We have medium legs and we have tracks. Tracks would be... they're quite cheap. They could work. What is our overall weight? The weight would be alright if we had these. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll have one there, and then we'll have a sort of a section there, and we'll have 2 of them in here. Although, to be fair, that is then pretty much the the same thing as the large tracks. Yeah. We've got 9,719 weight for the cost of, in total, 1080. However, 2 sets of tracks, 1 and then 2, like so, it's half the weight, but only a little bit less in terms of the cost. So, you know what? We might just try and have one of them. So, we're going to have that in like so. We will then go over to, where would it be? Into resources, and then ammo store. Ammo store will go there. A coal store, only a small one though, will go next door like that. And then we need some way of getting up to the top there. We will probably use a berth, because that has a ladder going up, and then behind that we'll have a cockpit, and then maybe another berth as well. It says minimum crew of 8, and we've only got the 3, so we're gonna have to place one in there. I guess it would be best if I just remove those, place that back here, and then put a quarters on the top like so, and then that is technically sort of about right. We'll put the bridge in there. And we do need some quarters. Let me go down. Sorry, we do need some supply hatches, but I don't know what sort of supply hatches we will use. We'll probably just use a standard wooden supply hatch. I really don't care. And there we go. So you might think, right, is that done? No, no, it is not. Because what we want to do is, for a start, armor this up. We're going to use heavy steel armor, and that will make it quite expensive, but also quite decent, I think. What is the armor on that? Heavy steel armor has HP 90 and absorbs 24 blast damage. Okay, so now what we want to do is go over to our modules here, and we want to check the structural stuff out. So corridor is 14, corridor of the ladder is 15, strut is 3, and accessible strut is 4. So strut is the way to go, and we are going to pretty much fill this entire thing up to the value that I mentioned earlier. Whether or not this will work or not, I have no idea. Technically, we could do it like that. I actually don't think that is a good idea. Let me just delete the majority of that. What we'll do is we'll make it probably taller. We'll probably actually make it really, really tall, and then we'll know if we make it really tall whether or not it is working, because the shots will be going up here rather than going past and missing. So we'll just fill it up like so. There we go. Just a Tetris block with some transport on the bottom, some locomotion. Like I say, 1,500 was sort of about my limit, so there we go. It's currently called the adjuster. I think we'll go with that, and there we are. Do I want to put a nice stained glass sheet in the middle? You know what, I really don't. I think I'm trying to give them up anyway. So I'll save the design as the infinitely stupid, and we'll leave that, and then we'll go over to combat, and what we want to do is have it on, well, that's fine. We'll add a building, and we're going to add the white lookout, and we'll place it probably around the back there, like so. That's generally where I'll place it. We'll give it a fair shout. Add a land ship, and we're going to add our adjuster, and we'll place that right near the front there. So we need to start the fight, and we will immediately put this onto aimed fire, and then we're just going to sit there, and yes, did you see that? We got a bit hitting there, but some of the bits are hitting up here. Let me go to outside view. They're hitting around here. Up there. Because I'm guessing the algorithm is target this, and then it, like, there'll be deviation rather than target valuable parts. And speaking of valuable parts, we've hit one, and they've lost most of them. They've lost all but one cannon on the front, one flak cannon on the top. They've still got, however, the rifles there. There is some more aerial torpedoes coming in, and it looks like it's about to hit the most valuable piece left, and yep, they've got no cannons anymore. They just have their muskets. And how are we doing over here? Well, we have lost some stuff. You can see we've lost this chunk here. I'm going to say move and see if this thing will actually function. It does actually function. There we go. The fact that this is right around the back here, I don't like. I think I'm going to put it more centralized. But I think this is abuse of the mechanics here. But it's interesting to see that it does work. The question then is just how far can we take this? I'm going to move this. Actually, what is the accurate range for these things? I don't really know, but it seems to be about right. We'll put it onto probably rapid fire now, because, well, we might as well. And you can see the, oh, there we go, aerial torpedoes coming in. Still my favourite weapon in the game. Bang! Lovely. And we're just taking a huge chunk out there. So this is why I picked the aerial torpedoes, because they do so much damage to, well, anything in general, but obviously as for a stationary target, these can't be shot down, I don't think. And, well, it looks like they're not getting shot at, but yeah, they can't be. Oh, that's going to blow up. Yeah. So they're just causing so much damage, and when we see how much damage we've taken back, I mean, it could just be luck. We can see we've lost this section here, this section there, and then we've taken loads of hits all the way around it, but the main bulk of it down here does look to have taken some hits, but nothing of great note, certainly not even through the armor yet, so that's good. We're going to move right up close here, because we can. I think they're pretty much out of ammunition. They've lost all but one musket, and there we go. That is a Vic and Terry. So let's try that again, combat. We'll go for another day fight there. We're going to add a land ship. We're going to add the adjuster. We'll have a couple of these guys in play here. We'll do that, and they'll probably crush down and actually probably kill themselves. Let me go to there perhaps. And then we'll add, what's that? Nearly 3,000. And yes, so we're going to add the land, not the land ship, sorry, the building, and we'll add a land fortress, because this obviously is quite a decent piece of kit. So I am underpointed by about 250 points. So we're going to start the fight. We're going to put this onto actually standard normal fire would be acceptable, I think. You can see the shots are coming back there, and yes, they are hitting around all these sections. You can see we've got damage there, we've got damage there, and they are taking out all of this extraneous stuff, all of the absorbing bits. Our shots have not yet hit, but it looks like we're about to get a nice hit here, and there we go. So good hits, good hits, good hits. And there's going to be some secondary explosions from the ammo. more, and that's going up, and it looks like they've burned... Well, they're getting burned from the back and the front there. Burning right in the centre. It looks like the next shot might... I was going to say might even destroy them, but it doesn't look like. There we go. If we split this in two, that'll be great. You can also see the huge amount of crew loss that these things cause as well. There is a explosion at the back, and it looks like... Oh, that poor fella on the top there is... Yeah, they're defeated at the back. I'm going to just pause a second while I move over to the left and just see what damage we've taken. So you can see that there's a stupid amount of damage onto this absorbent material. However, this one has also taken some damage, but we are still fighting well. Okay. Going back over to the right-hand side here, we can see that we are still chipping away at this thing. We are probably best to target this front section here. That is the one with the most damage, I think, because it's got all of these cannons. Although, I think I've just heard one of my things blow up. Yes, we have a fire, and we don't have a fire point, so I might have to resolve that. We've lost all of the weapons on it as well. So instead what we'll do is we'll say move. So move. To there, and go, 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 and there we go. We're going to go through all of this. Obviously it is burning, we can't put it out, that is a problem, so we'll have to sort that out in but a moment. The one at the back is still firing, and I might even move it down to there, just because I want to get in a little bit closer so I can use rapid fire. This thing is still going. Sadly, it's just been taken out of command, so I can't order it to ram, which is a bit of a shame. The other one is... Yeah, it's beached itself. That was one of the original issues. It looks like they have lost the entire... Well, I was going to say front section. It was originally one big building, but then we split it into three. And now it is quite happily exploding there. So... Oh... I shouldn't laugh. But the guy that was pretty much the safest fellow here, he was standing at the top there. Well, there was a big explosion and he died. Oh, it looks like that's now collapsed on top of it. So, we are now targeting the weapons, and that should be a GG, I think. That should be it. Yeah, that's gone, and I don't... Yep, we're still fighting, and that's a victory. Okay, so let's go over to the Landship editor, open the design, and open the adjuster, and we will be adjusting this. So we're going to put that back there, we're going to move that over to there, and we're going to remove that and put it in a more centralized position. I mean, we'll have it still... favouring forwards, I think. That should be okay. The problem being that we might clip the back. I mean, do we want to do it like that instead? Would that be better? We could also see if we can make it cheaper. Let's go over to Propulsion. We can see that medium legs are actually the cheapest one. Medium legs... No, we're too heavy for medium legs, sadly. We could shave some of this off. We could do that. Is that something I want to do? What about small legs? 2 sets of small legs would not be acceptable. But if I did that, and then just remove all this... but this is now sort of removing the entire point of it. No, it wouldn't work. It's not going to work. So... We'll build it back up to where it was. I think it was one higher than that. And we'll remove them, and we'll put that back to there. In that one there, no, perhaps not. I think instead we'll go for back with the tracks. I think back with the tracks is probably how it's going to happen. Sadly, because of where this stuff is, I don't know if it's best or not. Is there a better way for me to do this? We could make it taller. What we'll do, we'd have to put that in there. We'd have to remove some of this for now. That can go in there, that can go in there. A fire point wouldn't go amiss, would it? Like, we'll put a fire point in. So we've shrunk it down by 1. Made it a little bit taller. In terms of resources, we should have a fire extinguisher there, which will connect the rest of them up, which is exactly what we wanted. This will then be removed all the way to here, hang on, like so, and then we'll put the tracks dead center. The problem is then the coal store won't fit in, so we're going to have the same issue as I've had previously, because we want it ideally right in the center. The only solution would be to remove some of this, move that further forward, put in the bridge in there, then put that there, put that, no, that in there, that can be lifted up to there. We'll have another one of those in. Fire point, and then actually fire point there, and then... Do we actually need 2 of these? I don't think we do. That should be fine. And then a small coal store can fit in the back like so. We don't have access to it, sadly. Well, that can go there, and then that can go there. Hang on, what am I missing out? That's the bridge. That's the one I was wanting to put in there. There we go. Right. So that is in. That is in. Like that, maybe? Is that better? I think there is better. Simply because... I don't know, it just feels right. Okay, so we can do that. Is anything else we can do to make it slightly better? Yes, there is. We could delete it and start again. Not going to do that. Instead, we will use a telescope. Oh, a telescope's actually quite expensive. If we did put a telescope in, which only increases accuracy... Oh, no, weapon accuracy by 30%. That's actually really good, then. It does make it more expensive, and... I don't know if we really care about accuracy. It's maximum accurate range 1,600 meters. We're generally fighting, I believe, within that, although it doesn't show in-game units. Oh, is each one of these... What size are these? They can't be a meter, can they? They'll probably be 2 meters. Is each tile 2 meters? I don't really know. Anyway, the cost associated with it, it's even though we get 30% accuracy, it's also a bit too expensive for my liking. So we're going to do that. And then... continue on with the building of this. There we go. So it's much taller. We don't need a wooden supply hatch is perfectly fine. Is there a cheaper supply hatch? There probably is. Let me have a quick look. We've also got crew 12, recommended 14. I assume this doesn't alter that. No. I mean, if we just make it... I mean, how much could you realistically have? And would it work? The problem with this, it's going to start to get hit by flak, which is not what we're wanting. I'll tell you what, let's put it in anyway. We're not getting any alerts to say that it's over the recommended weight. I'm not gonna bring it up to the maximum weight value, but I'm gonna bring it up to probably the sort of 2,000 mark, which it's exact. Oh, it's 1997 apparently when we get it to there. 2,000 if we do that. Well, it'd be rude not to, wouldn't it? Okay, so we will save the design. We will save it as the version 2. I think that does warrant a version 2, mainly because of how tall I've made it. We will leave that building there. We'll go to combat. We'll go for the building, and I already see a problem here. We're going to place a white lookout in there, and then we will place our land ship in... Oh, I can just fit it in. It's just... it's just good enough to go in there. Right, so start the fight, and you can see it's... yeah, it's quite tall, and... Oh, for God... The little bobble on the top was the first thing that gets shut off. Well, to be fair, if they are systematically working top down, then I don't really mind that. And you can see that it's working exactly how we thought it would, which is they're targeting the vehicle as a whole, not modules of it, and because of that, it's then sort of essentially randomly distributing the shots around here. Yes, this is certainly abuse of unintended game mechanics. So we are obviously quite overpointed. We are 2,000 points exactly, and they are 1,300 and change. So yeah, that's a thing. In terms of damage, if we go to the outside view, you can see we have taken some damage there, but the majority of it is spread across here. Look, you can see the cannon shots going in. You can see all sorts of stuff. Yeah, that's a thing. Right, let's see how we're doing. Right, we've almost chopped the bottom off like a tree, and there's going to be a secondary explosion here, which is going to cause another secondary explosion. I guess that would be a tertiary explosion, and then, oh God, it's just, okay, there's an explosion. Let's just leave it at that. There's a lot of bang. And that is pretty much, I think that's pretty much it done with. Obviously, I've used a cockpit rather than a bridge, the cockpit being infinitely cheaper. Can't issue commands as fast, but we are able to... Is that a little lighthouse back there or something? Or I don't know what that is. Could be a lighthouse in the distance or just like some sort of beacon. Yeah, it's not able to have commands issued to it a lot. But to be fair, the only issue I've really done here is, well, tell it to target a different section. Haven't moved it. Haven't had to change the type of fire rate or anything like that. So, yeah, I don't think we need that. Combat once again. We're going to go for snow this time. We're going to say add the building. And we're going to add 2 land fortresses. Because I don't think we'll be able to survive a fight where we take a lot of damage. I just don't think it's going to happen. 6,492. I will say, I'll tell you what, we'll add another building in. And we'll add this time GDS turret, and that will bring us up to... No, far too much. We'll go for building white lookout, and that will just put us around the right points value. So 7,844, and we're going to add 4 justers. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Actually, what we'll do is probably split them up a little bit. We will put them further back. I'm very careful not to go too close to that suspending rock because it does bob up and down. So it means that there will be a time when it will probably just hit it. We'll keep an eye on that. But we're going to target probably the front one there. You can see the wave of shots there, the hail of fire that went into this thing and is constantly doing so. It looks like this is a wall and it's taking, but it's not because the game doesn't... Oh, that's bad. We've had explosions and that's now gone. That's pretty much gone, and we're going to explode in the back. And the first one of our adjusters is dead. We have lost the first adjuster. We had a bad hit and it's taken us right out. Okay. Yeah, it looks like their shots are hitting this like a wall, but it doesn't work like that. The game doesn't simulate like the trajectory of it, and it hits the first thing it comes to. It doesn't work like that. Even though it's 2D plane, it does go past and hit other parts. And, ooh, that's bad. But this one is getting worked over. We are moving on from the front one here and hitting this one behind it. I think I've just lost another one of my adjusters. Yes, the other adjuster has been taken out. Their vessel is getting taken out as well. I have a feeling that we're going to lose this one. I had a feeling at the start anyway, because we are really not in it for... I mean, we can't really have a long fight, even though... These things here, they're just not built to stand and take loads and loads of damage. Well, I guess that is not true. These are supposed to take the damage, but you get a good hit here with a couple of cannon shots. That's it. The thing blows up. Everything's all sort of close together. And the problem is they've got so much firepower with this. Then we just really don't have much of a chance really. And also, to be fair, we did lose one of the adjusters right away. Yeah, we've lost the third adjuster now. So we've just got basically these. Essentially stacks, these towers here, these scaffolds left. It looks like we are going to lose, but we're going to cause a lot of damage in doing so. I'm not going to target this. There is no point in targeting that section because they're out of ammo. You can tell that because they're not firing. No point in targeting this because it's only got 2 cannons. I'd rather keep targeting this and hopefully get some secondary explosions and reduce the amount of damage that I take, because it's still possible to win. It's unlikely because of the ammo count. We're down to 27 shots left, which... Yeah, that's not a lot at all, and not when we miss like that. But even when we miss with these things, though, it does a lot of damage. There is the lookout tower just being taken off. We could have put a lookout tower to ours. We could have had a set of ladders running right up the top and then a lookout tower at the top. I don't think that would benefit as much, but I am going to load up and see what the cost would be. So that is hit, and there's going to be a secondary explosion there, which is not going to cause another one, sadly. This is now out of ammo, so I will target the back part of that one. You can see this is not firing at all, so there's no point. Oh, there's another secondary explosion there. So hopefully they're going to run out of ammo shortly. This one is still firing. I'm not seeing shots from here, though. I'm not seeing shots from that. I think that's out of ammo. I think the only thing that's left is this. I think that's true. I think this is the only thing left. There we go. I think that's the only thing left with ammo. Nothing else is firing. I'm out of ammo myself, though. If these have retargeted, because the game, it's not stupid. It just didn't have time because they didn't have the orders. Yeah. Damn it. We've only just lost. We might have get another volley off. No. No ammo. No ammo. If we had a couple more volleys, we'd win that. We could just shoot that and that would be it. Because this is out of ammo, this is out of ammo, this is out of ammo. Actually, no, these are not classes destroyed. Look, so they're not out of the game like those. They're not defeated. Okay, let me leave that. I'm going to go back over to the land ship editor. We're going to open the design of the adjuster version 2. We're going to check in terms of, where is it? Command and crew, the crow's nest is 20, which increases the weapon accuracy by 10. So we could put a crow's nest up the top there. Getting to it is slightly problematic, but we do have, I believe, the accessible strut, which is only a little bit more expensive. So if we did this... we could do that. We could do that. It's a bit terrible. I'd have to put that there, that move back over, and then that to there. No, I thought that had access to the top. It doesn't. Ah, it's a shame. What does? Nothing. Don't think any of it does. That can go there. No, we'd have to remove that and put corridor with ladder in there, like so. Do we need it for 10%? 10% accuracy. But then maybe there's something to be said for going with a telescope as well. So I don't know how it calculates it. Is it 40% accuracy, or is it takes one and then it's a rolling percentage? So will it say 30% and then another 10%? Go up to 33%. I don't know. Either way, that has overpointed it by quite a bit. We can alter things. Let me go ahead and pretty much just skim some of the top off. That's the best way to do it, really. We'll have to take a fair chunk of this out, though. Although I don't know if that's a big problem anyway, because when you consider that. When you consider that we were, it's 2001 or 1997. 1997 was a good year. When you consider that the majority of this stack was still intact and the bottom bit blew up, that's where we had the issues. So even though this is obviously abusing the targeting stuff, it's not as if it's given me a massive advantage. Like if you built a proper vessel with 2,000 points, it would easily beat it. Saying that, we are beating purpose-built defensive structures with this monstrosity. So maybe that maybe that is disingenuous. I'm not sure. Save the design. We're going to save this as a version 3. Hang on, apparently I saved it as a version, just a version number, yeah. Version 3, manage files, rename, version 3, rename. That should be us. We'll leave that. We will have a quick combat there, and we'll fight it in the snow, because why not? Yeah, snow. So, actually, that land's a bit garbage. Let me go back over to that one. That's not too bad. Over to snow. We're going to add buildings. Once again, we're going to go with the same thing. We're going to go with the white lookout, and we're going to add 2 of the land fortresses. Land fortresses? Land fortri? Land fortrizes. Land fortress. Insert other generic confusion noise. Land ship. Adjuster version 3. De toi. Cat. It. What? How is it? 1997. Ah. Hang on. Didn't save. Because I was loading the wrong one. That's why. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. There we go. Start the fight. So you target whatever you want. I don't care. They'll all had their orders to target something, and they're going to do it. So let's see if the accuracy, it's blatantly targeting this. It is targeting the most damaging thing by the look of it. And by the look of it, that's a lot more accurate, because we have pretty much hit with every single one of those. Speaking of hit, the front of our adjuster version 3 has just been destroyed. However, in terms of trading, I think we've come up slightly better than that, but that's also quartered our damage. It looks like they are now just targeting this as well. the just sheer amount of damage they're putting out, though, every volley they're taking a lot of firepower off. Even though they're not destroying something, I'm guessing that it is working out which is the most damaging thing on the table, and then it will fire against that. It's not taking it out, it is just firing the thing that is most damaging, which is obviously changing every volley. Let's go to outside view here. You can see our ship here is about to blow up. There you go. Right, that's the problem. With these being right next to each other, there's secondary explosions. So the better way to do it would be to have these weapons across multiple levels. So probably one there, and one there, and then the ammo at the back here. So when it does blow up, it's just taking itself out and maybe a couple of things around it. That would be the version 4. I'm probably not going to make a version 4. I don't know if it's worth it or not. Actually, no. You see that I just took out the bottom bit. Oh, no, I took it out now. Yeah, I don't think I will make a version 4. I think proof of concept, we can see that it works. I'm going to target that thing there. And it was an interesting thing to make. I think, yeah, definitely I think the extra accuracy is worth the cost because, yes, we're losing, what, like 4 or 5 height levels, but I think we're doing more damage now because of it, and we can't really stay in the fight, so we need to get that damage out quickly and get it in the right place. If you're just blowing up the lav rather than the weapons, then what's the point? In terms of the weapons here, I think I would probably keep one where it is. I would move one to about, probably keep it about there, and then move the other one to there. I would then put the ammo on the back there, and then connect it up, and then have it essentially very decentralized. So instead of being around here, because I think, I think looking at this, we are being destroyed. Obviously, I was going to say by myself, but it's not true. We are being destroyed by the. We are being destroyed by the secondary explosions from our stuff blowing up. That's how that's working. So yeah, I think there would be some merit. I think we could argue in decentralizing the entire thing, but that'll have to be if we ever do it another time, because yeah, I think for the effort in doing that wouldn't really warrant it. Continuing on, really. Starting to run out of ammo, sir. Yeah, okay, 16 ammos. We're having the same issue as we had previously. We are technically winning this quite well. They've pretty much got nothing left, and most of it's surrendered. We might still win. It's unlikely. Unless these couple of shots are absolutely bang on the mark and blow everything to high heaven, I very much doubt we'll be able to win. I'm going to fire at the back there. I'm hoping that the current incoming ones will hit. Yeah, that's now perfect. That's now defeated. I'm hoping that we get the right place. We should only get a couple more shots off. Perfect. Good hits. And that's a surrender. And that's still going to be in place, though. So I don't think we can win it. We have technically won it, though. I mean, yeah, we were... to be fair, we were about equal. I think I was just overpointed. But yeah, there you are. That has been the Adjuster V. Not V3, just a V. Just a 5. We'll leave that there. And, yeah, that was an interesting one. I like that one. Open the design. Let me try that. Version 3. There it is. What I would do, I would probably go and remove... Oh, they're 4 long, are they? Right, I'd have to... yeah, it's because the 4 long I then have to really alter the accessible struts in the middle, because I'd have to do something like that. And then something like that. And that's how the weapons would be placed. You get the idea. And then maybe the ammo store back here. And then everything around the bottom for the rest of it. That would be the version 4. It still keeps the original concept, but I think removing these would be better, because when that blows up, it'll take... Well, we'll have a quick look. If we go to explosion damage, you see it would just go boom and take a huge chunk out. We'd probably split them up even further then, because... Well, we just would. We'd move these a bit further along. We'd still have the same amount of firepower. I think because of where we'd situate the ammo, they'd still be firing at the right speed. So, and it would mean that the Death Star syndrome of when one bit goes up, the rest goes up as well. It would pretty much remove that entirely. We might have to shrink it down a bit. Probably shrink it down to add a couple more fire points in, but other than that, I think that would be a better design. But that'll be a future us thing if I do that. I think proof of concept has shown that it works, but well, we could probably get better. In fact, I know we can get better by just building something that isn't completely stupid. But you know what? You don't know until you know, and now we know. And as always, it's been about the fun and the trying it out. If you like we say, then by all means, let me know in the comments. If you don't, then same again. Let me know what you think in terms of suggestions for changes and designs and new things that we can build and what you'd just like to see in general. Hope you have enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching. Take care and generic partings.